Hi, welcome to Soul Sessions. We are so excited to have you here with us once again. My name is Tracey Swainson, and this is my friend, Michelle Durand, and we are here to support you to finding peace after pregnancy loss. And we are talking all topics to do with taboos and truths with pregnancy loss. As I said, I'm Tracey Swainson. I support women who have experienced the emotional trauma of pregnancy loss, helping them to find peace with their loss and to find healing. And I do this through sacred, supportive one-on-one sessions. And today is an amazing topic that we're excited to share with you. Last week we spoke on shame, and this week we are speaking on forgiveness. This is a big one. Forgiveness is definitely one of the areas that helps with healing. And so today we are going to jump right in, and Michelle and I are going to share our experiences. My experience comes from miscarriages. Michelle, your experiences come from abortions, right? So how does forgiveness work when it comes to miscarriage? Some people may not think that that's such an important topic with miscarriage. After all, it's nothing that we did wrong. But yet again, the shame that comes with miscarriage is really, really big. And the self-blame, to me, that was a big one. I blamed myself for my miscarriages. I thought for sure that I must have done something wrong. There was something wrong with my body. There was a lot of self-hatred towards me. And after forgiveness, I had to learn to love myself. But this is just the tip of the iceberg here. So learning to forgive myself was big. And coming to that place after going through all of the awareness of the shame that I had felt, I had to actually sit down. And one of my practices, we've talked about it before, is journaling. And journaling has supported me in so many different ways. And I would sit down and I would literally write down all the things that I thought about myself, everything, every negative thing that came through me. And it may sound counterintuitive to do it like that, but in doing that, it made me aware of all the thoughts that I had towards myself, all the self-hatred. I hated my body. I couldn't believe that the one thing that women that were taught that we're supposed to be able to do is carry a child and give birth to a child. And that's something that I wanted so badly, and I couldn't do it. And so I had a lot of self-hatred, and it really, really hurt me and made me feel I lost all confidence in my own abilities. And I learning to forgive myself and go through that list of all the areas in which I really hated myself because of all my losses. I had to learn to go through each of those areas and forgive myself. And once I did that, that cleared so much more energy for me to allow myself to begin looking at other areas. Once I had forgiven myself, I was like, oh my goodness, there's still so much more. I had to forgive doctors for things that they said that were really insensitive towards me. I had to forgive people who were very well-meaning in wanting to portray their sorrow and their maybe some pity and some sadness towards me. But they can be really, really insensitive. Things like, oh, well, it just wasn't meant to be, or next time, or you have a little angel in heaven now that's looking over you. And all those things, well, they were well-meaning from many people who I love. They were really insensitive and really hurt me to the core. I didn't want a baby in heaven. I didn't want an angel in heaven. I wanted my baby right here with me. And at that time and in that space where I was at, that didn't bring me any joy to know that I had an angel in heaven. And I had to forgive all of that. I had to forgive every experience that crossed my path. And I had to forgive so many different people along the way. And it was a really challenging thing to go through. For me to really, truly begin to find peace, I knew that I had to take that step in forgiveness and meet every single person, every single experience along my entire years of pregnancy losses, and find a way to forgive them. And it was a really difficult thing to do. What about you, Michelle? How was it for you?
Well, forgiveness for a woman who's had an abortion is so different than what you were just explaining. And I totally can understand where you're coming from and where the women who've had miscarriages struggle now. So thank you for that clarification, because I've never actually had a miscarriage. So I personally had an abortion, and I know that for myself, that journey of forgiveness was what took me the longest, because when we have an abortion, we also have a lot of anger towards people as well. So we might be angry at the father of the baby. We might be angry at our parents. Maybe they encouraged us to have one, or maybe they were upset at the friends that encouraged us to have an abortion. Maybe we're angry at the abortion facility for not letting us know, and the people who were protesting outside who caused us more anguish. So there's so many opportunities to experience anger. And anger is such a natural emotion, but it's a very powerful emotion. And what I have seen and found over the years is that so many of us turn our anger inward. And when we turn our anger inward, so like for me, it was easy to forgive everyone else. You know, I could forgive them. Yeah, okay, I forgive them. I made a choice. I made a decision. In my heart, just let that go. But when it came down to forgiving myself, that was a different story. And so one of the tools that I use when I do groups with the women, and it helps me for so many different areas of my life, but especially when you're dealing with anger and blame, because anger and blame are the two things that will prevent forgiveness from happening. So we all have the ability to forgive. It's all within us. We have the key to set ourselves free with forgiveness. However, anger and blame will definitely keep us in bondage. So if we have anger at someone else and we're blaming someone else, then we will remain a victim, and we're just powerless as a victim. But if we decide that I'm going to forgive everybody in my experience, and a tool to use is called the anger pie. So you just take a plain sheet of paper and you just draw a circle on it and you just cut it up into pieces, giving out each person that you're angry with. So it might be helpful to make a list first of all the people you're angry with. Then you give them a piece of pie according to how angry you are. So let's say you're the most angry with yourself. You're going to give yourself how much? Do you feel half the pie, or the whole pie? So it depends. There's no right or wrong. It's just an exercise for you to see where your anger is. Because once you can see where the anger is directed, how many people you need to forgive, how much you need to forgive them for, then you're able to actually start that process of forgiveness. Because if you don't, anger turned inward becomes depression, which becomes isolation, and then suicidal thoughts. Not a place you want to go. So we really want to stop that right in the track and be like, okay, you need to, and one of the things that I hear all the time from women is I cannot forgive myself. I've heard it over and over and over. I cannot forgive myself. And it took me years to really take that apart and see what they're actually feeling is that I can't accept my own forgiveness. Very, very different, very powerful. It's easy to forgive other people, but when it comes to forgiving ourselves, it's a totally different thing. And it's not easy. It's not so that you could just say, okay, right now, today, I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to forgive. It's a process. I mean, I have had to forgive people who have done some horrible things to me, and they never said they were sorry, number one. So that does not ever allow you to just get off the hook, because it doesn't matter. Forgiveness is for us, not for the other people. So, there's times where I have to forgive and forgive and forgive and forgive again. So how many times? 70 times 7, however many you need till you can forgive and feel that you don't have that anger. So some people say, how do I know if I've forgiven? You don't have that anger anymore. You don't have that bitterness. You don't have that urge to get them back. That desire for revenge is gone. And you feel more love for that person. And you're like, wow, how could I feel love? So that's what you want to feel for yourself. And so that is exactly what we're talking about, is how when we as women go through these processes, how it affects us, but then everyone in our own life. So once you do, I definitely recommend everyone do that anger pie. Let us know, like, where are you struggling? Where are you stuck? And then once you are looking at that pie and you say, okay, so now I've got to deal with this. I need to forgive these people. I want Tracey, I love the way Tracey explains this. And so I'm going to let her explain what to do once you now have your pie and you're ready to start dishing it out. And not the way that we think. But Tracey, what's a more healthy way to deal with all of this anger and these people that we're looking at having to now forgive, and even especially ourselves?
Exactly. Well, first of all, I have never used that anger pie before, but I think that is brilliant. I can totally see how it could be really, really helpful. And like you say, forgiveness doesn't happen in an instant. It doesn't just happen. It takes time, and there are multiple layers. So just because you say, I forgive myself, when you reach that place, I forgive myself, it's going to hit you again. There's going to be things that are going to come up where you're going to be like, oh my God, I thought that was done. I thought I had forgiven that area of my life, and it's in your face again. Or, maybe your mother or your doctor or the facility, whatever the case is. It takes time for healing to happen. It is not a race. And you do it at your own pace. Your own journey it's completely different than someone right next beside you. For myself and for Michelle, our experiences are completely different, and our journeys to healing were completely different, and yet so similar in many ways.
Yes, the goal is the same.
The goal is exactly the same. So go at your own pace, your own speed. And it's not a race in any way at all. It won't happen that way. So a couple of things that I love to make space for is every day, give yourself some space for silence. And that could just be in the bathroom while you close the door and you're brushing your teeth. And just give yourself some space for silence, because when you're doing that, you're creating an energy field around you that just is there for you. And so you can tune into your own mind, your own heart, and just experience what is coming through for you today. And within that space, I always try to create every day some time for gratitude. And when you're feeling hurt, gratitude isn't an easy thing to do. But honestly, gratitude is so powerful. It changes everything. So even if it comes down to, I am grateful for my breath, or I'm grateful for the cat that came and woke me up at 5 o'clock this morning because it was alive and well, and I'm just grateful for that. Another thing that I love, there's 2 tools that I love to use. And one, when it comes to forgiveness, when you're ready and in that space, the one is, I love to just take my time and maybe using the pie that you've already created, that Michelle has shown you, and you're ready for that space of forgiveness. And you may just choose one thing. It could be yourself or somebody else. Place your hand on your heart and just take some deep breaths. And go to a space that feels really peaceful for you. At some point in your life, it may have been when you were a child, maybe sitting on your grandmother's lap. It could be in a field of flowers. Wherever you were, that just brought so much peace, and really feel into that energy. And then think of either yourself or someone else that you know you are ready to create space for forgiveness. And just imagine that there is a cord between you and that person. And the cord is connected to you. And it is connected to the other person. And as you're feeling that peace, just begin to sense that cord releasing from you. You can give it a color, maybe a sound, and just gently sending peace to yourself and that other person, and just imagine or visualize that cord releasing from your energy field and letting it go. And at this time, you can just say, I forgive you. And this is a practice that can be done over and over again for as many people experiences that you need to send that to. But by taking yourself first to that place of real peace, an area in your life that you really felt that peace, it helps to disconnect you from any other energy that may be surrounding you. So I love that, and I use this one a lot. And the other one, Michelle and I were talking earlier about this one, is Ho'oponopono. This is an ancient Hawaiian practice. And you can go online and you can find the details of it anywhere. But it basically is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And you say these 4 things over and over and over again. And there's something about saying this, whether it's to yourself or to someone else, that really creates, blocks any negative energy and releases you from those energies of blame or anger or anxiety or depression that you may be feeling, that you're ready to release. So I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And this is one that I use a lot, and I often use it for myself, because any experiences that come up are often experiences that are being mirrored for me to learn from. And it's myself that I need to forgive. And it's a really, really powerful experience. So you can go online and look up Ho'oponopono. Again, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. And this is a really powerful prayer that you can use.
Wow. I love that prayer. And I love that concept too. And so I could just visualize so many women, like in the privacy of their own home, their car, wherever they're listening or watching this, to like just be able to do that with their baby and just, you know, realize, like, let the baby go, but it's still there in their heart and their thoughts. And also like for forgiveness for themselves. Because as I said, the thing that I hear the most is I can't forgive myself. And really what that means is I can't accept that forgiveness, but you can. And so I love this song and this quote, that love is not a feeling, it's an act of your will. But I feel like that too about forgiveness. You know, forgiveness is not a feeling, it's an act of your will. We do not want to naturally forgive people, and we don't want to forgive ourselves, and especially when it has a baby involved, because we feel like if we forgive, then we'll forget about the babies. Yeah. And that's not true. You won't forget about the babies. So our goal, and one thing too, as she said, it's not an overnight process. It is a long process. But here's the thing. Just learning the techniques and learning the skills. We just shared a little bit of what we do. We just shared a little bit of what we do with our women, but we go really deep. And so when we say do the work, that means you give it the time and the energy and the effort for yourself to heal your heart, to heal your soul, to heal your mind. And so we for that reason, we have support group. We have a private Facebook group. Tracey has one for women who've had miscarriages. I have a group for women who've had Tracey has a group for women who've had miscarriages, and I have a group for women who've had abortions. And there they can find support, and they can find other women who are going through the similar situations and are the same feelings, and then they can learn the path of forgiveness and healing, and then just be able to accept that gift, because it's a gift, and it's for everybody. Like, we're not privileged. We only chose to accept that gift and accept that forgiveness. And, you know, don't let anyone else hold you back. Just because someone maybe didn't say they're sorry, that doesn't matter. Like, still cut the bond, that bond that Tracey's talking about, like that cord, just cut that and release them so that you can be free to work on yourself and heal yourself. And that's what we're here for. And also, we have a gift during the holiday season. So if you want to join the group, let's say you're really shy or you're just not sure and you want to talk to me or Tracey first, we are offering one-on-one sessions for the holiday right now. We know that, you know, times are hard. Everyone's spending money on Christmas gifts and giving to others. So we would like to give to you a gift of, we don't have any charge right now for our sessions. They're free. And so we ask you to please reach out. The holidays can be a trying time as well. You might be around triggers. You know, our families know about our miscarriages, abortions sometimes. And it'll be helpful for you to just kind of get some tools, tips, techniques to be able to handle the emotions that might arise during the holidays. So Tracey, do you want to share any more about the soul sessions?
Yeah, so this is really, really exciting. We know what it's like to go through the holiday season, and you're being surrounded by family. And like Michelle said, there are triggers, there are memories. Maybe there's little ones sitting around the Christmas tree that are opening gifts, and you can visualize your little one being there, but they're not there with you. And it can be really a difficult time. So Michelle and I are super passionate about supporting you and giving you some really soulful strategies to help you through this holiday season. And you're welcome to join our groups. My group is Peace After Pregnancy Loss. And so you can come through there. There will be 3 questions that you can answer to make sure that you are in a really soulful, sacred space, and that you're going to be well protected, and as well as the women that are in that space. Now, our groups are there because there are other women who have been exactly where you are. Maybe you're farther along with that than some of them, and maybe there's others that can support you. So these are support groups, both for miscarriage and pregnancy loss. Michelle and I are both admins in both groups, so you'll see us both there. And we are here for you. So my group is Peace After Pregnancy Loss. And Michelle, your group is?
Tears to Treasures. And you can easily click the link in our YouTube channel cover art on the right side, and you will be able to go to either one of our groups. Just click on the link. It'll take you straight to the Facebook group. So we made it super easy for you. And from there, you can request the soul session. Just ask for the free one-on-one session, and we will send you a link to schedule that one as well. So we just want to say thank you all for watching. We're so happy that you have found this soul session series, and we just want to tell you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah, whatever your holiday you're celebrating. I'm just celebrating being alive. So even if you're celebrating, every day is a day to celebrate. So we just would like to wish you all the best, and we'll see you again in the next year, 2019.
Absolutely. Yes, we'll be back again next year. So please reach out to us. We're here for you, and you are not in this alone. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah.
Just because we won't be on YouTube till next year, we will always be in our Facebook group. So if you've watched the video and you're waiting for the next one, you can watch the ones we've already shown, but we'll also be doing updates in our Facebook group. So that's where you can connect with us daily. And if you would like support, we'd love to have you in our group. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you for the next session of Soul Sessions. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.